Hey, I'm testing out a few ideas with this video, so it may be a bit rough, but I'm going to go through how I model and texture out this building in Blender. And the things I want to really go over in this video are a simple blockouts that I do in the beginning, and how I do like reference gathering, and also hopefully further down the line when I get into the texturing side of things. I want to explain how I set up my trim sheets and materials and such. So in this first video, it's just gonna be the bare bones, like me setting up the blockouts and also just pretty much how I use my references. So what I'm doing right now is building out the basic shapes of the building while using the references as a guide. When blocking out these buildings, I like to have some sort of hierarchy. In life, buildings are usually built from the bottom up, and sometimes a stair step the higher you build them. And I'm using New York City as a reference because in constructing these buildings, there are certain rules for taller buildings where like the higher you go, the more pushback the facade has to be in order to preserve sunlight to the lower streets of New York City, you know? And I like to have this type of mindset when it comes to blocking out these buildings, and I find it useful to just do like just a bit of research to whatever you're creating in life and see how you could apply those rules to your art, you know? And additionally, the hierarchy itself makes these buildings look much more believable, especially during the early blockouts when you're trying to nail a specific look, and if it doesn't look right, you can always just tweak the blockout that you do have and make changes from there. So I'm gonna let this time lapse run, and from time to time I may explain what I'm doing, but aside from that, here's the video for now. What I'm doing right now is using selection to active and selecting a few faces to flatten down. Depending on your layout, usually the settings will look like this. I have mine to the bottom left corner, but honestly I think you could find it anywhere else in your layout. I'm adding edge loops to one of the meshes to get some medium blockouts in. It's okay to add secondary elements to the mesh as long as you don't go overboard with the modeling itself. Like, just doing like simple tweaks here and there could work pretty much. I often use Cruiser to Location to quickly add in a few meshes. Here I started selecting a few edges and added a bevel weight. It's still early in blockout, but I think it just looks nice in general. To add a bevel weight, go to edit mode, select an edge, then go to the item menu tab. And under edge data, you set the bevel weight to 1. After, add a bevel modifier, and under limit method, select weight. I had a lot of my meshes so I could focus on a specific one, and I use hotkeys to invert selection to save time on choosing parts that I need hidden. This is the part where I add window materials to get a good idea of scale. I use Texel Density Checker to keep a good UV consistency for the window facade, and going back and using one of my previous buildings helped me further establish my material scale. Once you feel comfortable with your blockouts, it's okay to add a few materials to better understand what you want to create with your model, especially when using repeating textures. Another thing I use is the asset browser to bring materials from my personal library. My plan is to polish this library further and release it soon, but for now, here's some materials I created. usually frame the model because it helps me identify any issues with the building. This is a good way for figuring out what you need to tweak within the model, and also is a good way of like identifying quickly what to fix. I started UVs by assigning trim sheet materials and unwrapping the islands. How you use trim sheets is up to personal taste, but don't be afraid to revise and fix a few of them if it looks off. few of my trim sheets I made in Substance Designer, but there's no wrong way to make trims. So from modeling to baking or even setting up a graph, there's no wrong way to make these type of trims. As long as you get the end result, that's good. What I'm doing in this section is quickly extracting a face and using this piece as its own mesh. This is a good way of making a quick model kit with different variations. So this video is coming to an end, but I'd like to point out that there's going to be a second video coming soon. Let me know what you think of this format and if you want to see more like this soon. But for now, here's the rest of the time lapse.